Hi, this is Kieran. Welcome to On Today's Ride. Something completely different today, downhill mountain biking at Dyfi Bike Park. Okay, dropping in. Okay, a few hours earlier and a few degrees cooler. It's 7:30 in the morning. I'm not downhill mountain biking. I'm on my mountain bike and I've got a big backpack and I am cycling to my friend Darren's house, who's about 10k away, because my van is still not working. So that's a bit of a blow. It's still with the mechanics. Hopefully ready in the next day or two. Hopefully not too expensive, but we shall see. So I'm going to get a lift to Dyfi Bike Park, which is where we will be doing our downhill mountain biking, and I'll explain all about that in a moment. But first we've got to get through this bridge and tunnel on the canal, heading for Dyfi, where Darren lives. Okay, that was the bridge. Here's the tunnel. It's not a long one, it's a short, easy one. There's some really long ones around here that are kind of creepy. And I always forget to take my light, so I'm trying to cycle along holding my iPhone in one hand. But this one's just under the main road, basically. Come out in a moment, avoid this dog, and we'll keep going. Okay, what is downhill mountain biking? Well, basically, I'd say there's three main subsections of mountain biking. There's cross country, where you're doing literally cross country stuff, just going across the moors and hills on your mountain bike. Then there's trail centres, and trail centres are like purpose-built trails almost exclusively in the UK in woodland, in farmed plantation woods. You know, there'll be loop rides and they'll be graded according to difficulty: blue, red, black, double black, etc. And then there's downhill. Now downhill, you just go downhill. Now you're probably thinking, how's that possible? Surely what goes down must then ride back up again. And here's the big difference with downhill mountain biking. You don't ride back up, you get driven back up. Yeah, so downhill mountain biking, and this sort of goes against all my roady, masochistic hill climbing beliefs. But downhill mountain biking, you normally in this country you do your downhill and then you get driven back up, put your bike on the back of a trailer and get driven back up to the top and go again. And downhill trails are generally pretty gnarly, and that's why I've avoided Dyfi Bike Park for quite a number of years, because Dyfi is pretty tough. It was started by the Athertons, which is two brothers, Dan and G, and their sister Rachel, who are basically the royal family of mountain biking downhill. G and Rachel are multiple world champions. Dan was slightly less successful at racing. He was less lucky, I think, and he's got a different mindset, and his mindset was always trail building, and he always wanted to open a trail centre and always had an eye on this valley in North Wales, although they're not Welsh. And then they made it come true, and several years ago they built this fantastic bike park, which we're about to see. Okay, into the narrow bit of the canal, and then on for a few more kilometres up to Darren's farm, and then down to the wonderfully named Welsh town of Machynlleth. Okay. All right, we've done the killer climb up to Darren's place. He's up, he's ready. Morning, Darren.
Morning.
Where are we going today?
Dyfi.
Is it your favourite place on earth?
One of them.
One of them, okay, that'll do. So we're loading the bikes up and then we'll head down to Machynlleth ASAP. Bit of country life going on. It's the farmer, he's got a sheep. All right, girls. you go. Slight delay. Yeah, it's alright, you're welcome. Okay, road's clear. Here we are, Dyfi Bike Park. Yee! Look at that weather. Fantastic. Okay, get kitted up. Gonna try out the Insta360 camera. Give that a bit of a trial. Get the gear on and we're good to go. Dropping in. Double black racetrack. Can't say I'm not a little bit nervous. There goes Cara. Take it slow and easy. That's Chris. Alright, let's get going. Okay, we just had to wait up a bit because they're airlifting someone out. Had an accident, fairly serious accident I think, on one of the runs earlier. So while we're doing that, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about kit. I'll keep it simple, beginnery stuff. But yeah, I'm wearing a full face helmet and goggles because that's mandatory here. Downhill bike parks, you've got to wear full face helmet. I got elbow pads, knee pads. Knee pads are also mandatory. And then I got a backpack on which has got water in and a few things, but it's also some sort of protection. Otherwise I could have body armor as well. My bike is not a specific downhill bike. It's a sort of do-it-all bike. It's a sort of cross-country trail bike, bit of downhill. So it's a mountain bike, obviously. It's got suspension here for the rear, so the bike will rock up and down, and it's got suspension forks on the front, so it can take quite a bit of a battering. And it's about to get that as we ride down the trail known as El Hippo. Great name. Okay, dropping into El Hippo. So I borrowed Darren's GoPro for this, so we can actually see a bit of a run. Hippo is a single black. No one's really done it before, so apparently we're going slow. It doesn't feel very slow. Okay, El Hippo continued. Part 2. Looks steep. Looks very steep. Very fast. Jump. Landed that one a bit better. Get into the berm. Ooh. Ooh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Bit of that time. But the traffic jam. Tight, twisty section ahead. Well, thanks for the warning. Caution fall away section. So continue down the Hippo. Steep, loose, dusty, rocky, rooty, and very fast. Very nice. I'd say I'm kind of alright with this, but the last section was pretty much on the edge of my limited abilities. Oh, here we go, and slow. Ooh. Oh, how did I stay up there? Thought I'd lost it. This is only single diamond black apparently. Someone's skidding away behind me. And down into the car park. Don't crash now. Everyone watching. Sweet. Okay, so that was downhill mountain biking at Dyfi Bike Park. What a cracking day it was. My first time there. Loved every minute of it. Had fantastic weather. Some of the trails were a bit easier than I thought they'd be. And one or two were a little bit squeakier, shall we say. But main thing, got down safely. We all got down safely. I think we had one little crash between us, but nothing major. A really good group of people to go with, which I think helped. So shout out to you all, you know who you are. Special thanks to Leroy for organising, and special thanks to Darren for not only driving me there and back, lending me a GoPro to get some really good footage, and keeping me supplied with a seemingly unending source of Coke Zero, nicely chilled. So nice one, Darren. So on that liquid note, all that remains for me to say is, let's get down the pub. Okay, we're not quite down the pub, but we are down the bottle shop. So we're at Story, which means story in Welsh, and Story is a fantastic beer shop. Sells a really good selection of craft beers. Let's go and have a look. All right. Yeah, no, lovely selection of bottles and cans, particularly of local Welsh breweries. Let's see if one of my favourites is here, Polly's. Always a few Polly's. But what's particularly good for is it has draft beer. So you can buy craft beers on draft if you bring your own bottle, or buy a bottle. And I'm going to get a litre of Wild Horse's tram car, I think. Magic Dragon, Wild Horse, those are all Tiny Rebel, they're all Welsh breweries, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, iechyd da. Good health. Very nice, that tram car, fantastic. Fantastic beer to end a fantastic day, so yeah. That's the end of the movie. If you enjoyed, please give a thumbs up down below and look forward for the next episode, which is going to be something completely different again on today's ride. Cheers.